if you saw yesterday's match, Colorado ended up going to 7 against Jack State, so we'll have to see how that turns out this time around.
Absolutely. And speaking of getting things going here, Harkey trying to get stuff started for UNT Black, but shut down instantly. And we can see Calculated for A&M already pushing this A&M team. Such a strong offense. Very quick as well. You cannot let yourself be lulled into a false sense of security because the Aggies will strike at any moment. It will be Calculated looking to do so here. Shut down by Parkey. And this is the kind of rhythm that I expected to see today. An early shot put in by Eddie. A&M already on the board.
That's just great team play there from Eddie, and then some disruption on that back line from the rest of the Aggies there, and A&M on the board first. This is probably what most people expected, but I mean, UNT Black, they had a little bit of fight, they had a little bit of offense going. Iceborg now trying to get some offense going for UNT Black again. Just gotta be able to break down that final third of defense that the Aggies have. Parkey almost doing it right there, but a good recovery around from Eddie to clear the ball out.
Yeah, UNT Black not without any offense to show for. They have pushed down the field a couple of times, and Parkey looking to find the corner read here. Won't go through, but see the Aggies defense. They are having to extend for some of these saves. And that aggression, that third man that we just saw from him, that's going to be what's needed for the Mean Green. Trying to make everything so awkward, and Parkey dunking it through. UNT Black will equalize. And they will remind us all that this is a series. It's not going to be a blowout. Or at least it's not looking to be one right now.
That's right. They are here to play. They are not going to go down without a fight. They want to prove why they made it to this spot in the first place and continue that run even further. As Parkey looking to get something going again. It's going to be passed back for him, but East with a great save out. Now Eddie down the other side, quick transition. Iceborg pops into the corner. Eddie causing some disruption, allows Calculated to get involved. Pass center for Mies, saved away by him. Parkey trying to get the clear out, but Eddie keeping that ball right in. And Eddie following it up right away, getting the dunk on Iceborg as well. And we'll get the second goal for Texas A&M here.
There's absolutely no hesitation for Eddie, playing the miss and then dunking Iceborg as the last man. That will set up another A&M lead, and you can see both teams a lot of the time, especially for underdogs, they will be scared to really push up too far forward, not send that third man or even the second man at times. What we're seeing from UNT Black and A&M for that matter is a willingness to really send the house and play aggressive, and that's what you need. Try to make the other team reach on defense for some of these saves. Right now, though, it is still A&M with all the control. That demo won't really serve to help out UNT Black. Instead, they're still up against it, and Eddie has a hat trick. Just 2 minutes gone by, and he's slotted 3 home, courtesy of a Mies backboard pass.
This is what we see Eddie do, and I have a little bit of insider information that hasn't been released yet, but Eddie ranks in the top 10 of the CCS for goals this season. So, I mean, he's just showing off what he's been doing the entire season so far. Him trying to get one back, but it's going to be Parkey. A great slot into the top right corner off the follow-up, off the save from Calculated. Parkey just beating Eddie up in the air to it. It's now within 1 goal once again.
Yeah, look at that placement as well. So well executed from Parkey. And folks, I do have the resident CCS statistician here with me, so you'll be getting little tidbits of information like that, I hope, that nobody else has access to. So please stay around. And this one, not only for the great matches we have on stream today, but also for the, a little bit of extra content that may provide right now. Trying to provide us with some content is Eddie. Going to try to drop it below him. Does get it through cleanly, but follow-up going to be a bit delayed. Mies dunked by Iceborg, Calculating, having to rush back. Iceborg's follow-up touch right into Eddie. Him dives, 50 taken. Now it's Parkey, open space, looking to get it above Calculated. Off the backward for free, but Mies taking it away. A&M right now surviving on defense, and they are able to stifle the threat for now.
That's right. I mean, this counter-attack offense that Texas A&M have going right now is just deadly. We've seen it a little bit earlier when it took a couple shots, but this time that UNT offense was just pushed up a little bit too much. Parkey just barely couldn't recover in time. And it's now a 2-goal game once again.
Yeah, UNT Black unable to equalize. They're getting within one a couple of times, but are yet to get that final touch that they need. Be able to score when they need it most. They might have a big chance here, though, with Parky's chip met by Eddie. So me shutting it down. Looks like A&M starting to catch on to this really tight second, third man rotation that UNT Black are applying. And it has made starting onto offense a little more difficult for the Mean Green.
Great. Good clear out there from Mies. Parky trying to keep it in the midfield, keeping it close. Gets that full boost pad, just can't do anything with it as Calculated is able to clear it down now. Iceberg has to get up and get that ball out. A little dangerous, but Mies not able to get a touch on the ball. Now him will get to clear into the orange half. Pops down center. Mies is there to clear it. Maybe trying to find Calculated again, but it's going to be in the center for Eddie. Can't get it around Parky though, and now him has to play it around. Pass back up. Trying to get it off backward, get it around Eddie. Cannot do so, and now Mies getting the clear out once again. Center for Calculated. Pass to Eddie, and this is what Texas A&M does. A great team play there. Pass center from Calculated to Eddie to finish the play, and Parky cannot get a touch on that ball.
Yeah, Parky has to keep track of 3 different A&M attackers there, and that is just a recipe for disaster on defense. As UNT Black, their chances in game 1 look to be slipping away from them. They need to score sooner rather than later, but they continue to find themselves playing more defense. These clears not going far enough. This one's going to drop down from Calculated, down to Mies. The shot saved by him. But A&M up by 3, don't really need to worry about scoring at this point. Just need to worry about not conceding anything too easy, and right now they're doing exactly that.
Sure. I mean, 30 seconds left. At this point, you might just have to think about what you're going to do in the next game. Just try and get that mindset transition into how do we stop this A&M offense, because even in game number 1, it's just continuing to roll right along.
Yeah, the Aggies really picking up the pace now. Started out with a little bit of difficulty dealing with the quick challenges, the dive challenges from UNT Black, but now keen to them and capitalizing with some gorgeous infield passing plays like the one we just saw there. And they're not letting up either. Eddie met on the ceiling by Parky. This will be a chance for UNT Black to maybe get one for the road here, but again, it just goes right to another Aggies player as time will tick down on game number 1. And as the clock hits 0, or nope, it'll go in the back of the net with 1 second left. A&M continuing to add insult to injury.
I mean, what more can you say about this A&M offense? They've just been taking everything to the backboard, or the back of the net on the UNT side. I mean, 7 goals in game number 1. That's a great way to come out swinging if you're Texas A&M. UNT definitely have to come up with a different game plan here. Have to try and stifle that offense that Texas A&M has come out swinging with.
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge, though, as even the offensive struggles for UNT Black were pretty apparent. They put on 8 shots, but none of them were too threatening, and they were unable to get to the orange half of the field, really, in the last 2 minutes of gameplay. So a lot to improve there for UNT Black. The slipper's starting to fall off a little bit. Gonna need to be a big recovery from them in game 2.
And I mean, Texas A&M just doing what they've been doing all season. Eddie and Calculated both ranked in the top 10 of total shots also. So both amount of shots and just how well those shots are going through to become goals. It's just nuts from this A&M. Whoops, 1 second here. I thought I pressed spectate. Definitely did not, though.
Well, you know what happens. Your way.
Number 2 underway now. Calculated, trying to start off once again. Nice work. Transition on offense as far as Eddie. Him, great time in picking up that 100 pad. Gets it into that offensive third, but Calculated not able to allow that to get dangerous at all. Right back to that blue half.
And that redirect is up by Calculated. And look at that pass from Eddie as well. Now back central to Mies. He can't quite find that shot, but you can see A&M, they're playing keep away with these passes, and UNT Black expecting the early shot, and it's leaving them completely boostless. 0 across the board for every single player. Parky picks up a small pad that is just enough as he's able to clear this one out for now. Another infield pass. Calculated. The deflection from Parky will keep it out of harm's way, but UNT Black already up against it in game 2.
Right, and also a very selfless team here. You see the amount of infield passes that this team has had this series alone, Calculated in the top 5 this season of the amount of assists. So just the amount of selflessness there to recognize that the pass center is the best option there. Pass it to a teammate and get that quality goal instead of just trying to take it yourself and thinking that you can do it all by yourself.
Yeah,
this is such a good team for that, and Eddie finally puts one through here for Texas A&M.
And this is just Eddie asking if UNT Black can hit the ball, and none of them do. He just beats them to that play, and we'll put in one. So A&M leading after about 80 seconds. Demo from Iceborg, maybe allowing some space here for Parky to work with. That flick to the backboard, uncontested, so it's for him. A mistouch by Mies. Is anybody there to follow for the mean green? Doesn't look like it. And that's where you really need to pick up that second man aggression. Seems to have subsided for UNT Black, as a big chance there kept away by the Aggies. In fact, they may be able to transition this one downfield. Iceborg called into action. Doing well to clear it. Another demo here. He's collecting, but UNT Black looking a little better. Still need to find something truly threatening on the back of the net, though.
Sure, they've been able to get that ball into the offensive third, but keeping there and making it dangerous. They have not been able to capitalize on that quite yet, as A&M look to hunt their second goal now. Eddie trying to find a pass center, but the rest of his team was in their own half, so no further development will come from that as Parky takes it to the orange half. Calculated, able to take control for now and gets a bump onto him. Parky will take over for UNT Black, but only as far as Eddie. Him trying to keep it away from the net. Calculated through the corner. Misplay from Iceborg. Parky's there to get the save, though. This entire UNT defense bunching up a little bit. Him a little bit confusing in that corner, but ends up able to keep it there.
Yeah.
Calculated makes way for Eddie. He's trying to find a shot on to the back half of the net. Bounces off the post, but the follow-up from Eddie is good.
Yeah, and both teams looking a little nervy, but ultimately that touch right there from Mies, able to throw the entire UNT Black defense into chaos. Just well placed. If it was on target, it would have been unsavable, but either way, Eddie following it up, and it will be 2 for A&M. UNT Black doing a bit better on defense, but doesn't matter when you're unable to score down the other end of the field, and they're still up against it here. Eddie, no shot available, so will be deflected to the side wall. Iceborg going to try to contest this one. Does win it cleanly, but nobody there to follow, and it's just going to be another possession for Eddie. You don't want to see this man on the ball if you're UNT Black. The fake challenge is doing well now. Iceborg 1v1 with Calculated. What can he do with this situation? Flicks it high. Follow-up by him. Will be high as well. A touch from Parky not found, and UNT Black unable to capitalize.
That was a good decision making from Iceborg there, deciding to flick it off the backboard for a teammate. I think if he tried flicking it on target, it would have been saved away, but unfortunately the follow-ups weren't quite there. The rest of Texas was able to recover on that ball, and now Iceborg trying to just get this breakaway shot out. It's going to be saved by Eddie, who's playing deep enough for that ball. Calculated in the corner, able to get it out. Popped high. Mies is going to be there, trying to get it through the corner. Eddie's going to challenge, but Parky with the clear out. Calculated, I believe, was demoed, so he's back in order to put a stop to that offense. Now Texas A&M pounding once again. Eddie is there to get it through the defense. Calculated, getting it up 50 off of him, demoing him as well, and then Eddie, the dunk onto Iceborg, putting Texas A&M up 3-0.
Yeah, it's Eddie's second hat trick now of the series. He has been on fire with the goal scoring so far for the Aggies. Him trying to get something going for UNT Black off the backboard, taken away by who else but Eddie. That touch doesn't get away from him. Iceborg gonna try to lob this one to the backboard. Met well by Calculated. in the clear. Looks like it'll be coming through. No, Parky able to win that 50 himself. UNT Black are getting chances up against isolated defenders, but they're unable to make anything of it. It has allowed A&M to maintain firm control over this series. Almost another passing play there, another goal for Eddie. But it is shut down as we enter the closing seconds of game number 2.
That's right. A lot better job from that UNT defense there, as Eddie tries to slot another one through, but it will be no good. But, I mean, a little bit better defense at the cost of all of their offense. They were not able to get a single goal this game. They had 3 shots compared to last game's 8, as that ball finally touches the ground. And if you're UNT, you're thinking, okay, now that we've got the defense covered a little bit better, now how can we get that offense going once again?
Yeah, it's rough. Only 3 shots to UNT Black compared to the 10 A&M were able to put on, and when A&M is converting at a fairly solid 30% rate, that will be more than enough to win the day for the Aggies. The question for UNT Black becomes, I mean, how are you able to keep to apply offensive that the map did not change. Okay. How are you able to apply offensive pressure when you are also having to avoid leaving A&M with a bunch of open nets to work with? It's just a balancing act that I don't think UNT Black is capable of keeping up.
Sure. I mean, ball popping over the blue half at the start of this game, but able to be easily put away by Iceborne. Happening elsewhere in the tournament so far, Buds and GSU and Colorado are currently in a 2-minute overtime in game number 2. Colorado's winning 1-0 in that series. Eddie looking for a little bit of offense right there. Great save though by Parky to keep that out. FIU currently leading Nebraska 1-0. SDSU and Syracuse are tied 1-1 in this series. So that's what's going on elsewhere in the tournament so far. And now Iceborne trying to find that redirect there, is not able to get on target, but the follow-up is going to be good from him. Couldn't get that first initial touch. Parky was like, all right, let me give it to you once more, and Iceborne slots it through this time.
That's a good team play from UNT Black. The response they were looking for, the first time in this series that they've scored first. So they are still going to be concerning themselves with playing defense. Another defensive demo. Something I've noticed out of the Mean Green is that they're trying to take out attackers while they're playing defense, and it has worked out for the most part when it's been applied. And another shot from Parky. He has been hitting the top right corner tonight as UNT Black will double up their lead. And Parky starting to come alive himself now for the Mean Green.
Yeah, what a slot. Just putting it right above Eddie from basically the corner as well. I mean, that's a good piece of shooting from Parky coming out there. This Mean Green offense, they've been getting it going so far, but Eddie with a good piece of shooting himself puts it into the top right corner of that Mean Green net.
That is absolutely perfect placement. You could not want it any better. Tuck the ball and get night into the top right corner of the net. I mean, Eddie reminding everybody, I think that's his 8th goal this series. And he has shown no signs of slowing down either.
That's right. I mean, Parky put it top right onto Eddie, and then Eddie was just like, all right, I can do that same thing right back to you. Watch this. I mean, so 1-goal lead for UNT still so far, but 3:30 left to play. Texas A&M proving that they're not going to go down without a fight. They're definitely going to keep in this one until the very end. That's a good team play from him and Iceborne. Team pinched towards the net, but just not able to get past that A&M defense. And this ball being heavily contested in the midfield, back and forth here so far. Iceborne will take advantage, putting it to the backboard before cleared away by Calculated. Get the demo to open up those rotations on the defense a little bit. Now Sam's a little awkward, trying to get the 50 on Meese, but Meese will get the better of it. So all the way to the other end. Boost to work with, but able to just try and 50 Parky in the meantime as well. And going back and forth here so far.
Yeah, and UNT Black, something I'm noticing now is a big increase in confidence, going for bumps, demos, and challenges that A&M wouldn't expect them to, and probably UNT Black wouldn't have gone for last game. And it has resulted in them being able to maintain a good amount of control in game number 3, as they do hold a tentative 1-goal lead with about half the game to go.
Yeah, another thing I've noticed is those infield passes that A&M have been so clinical with in game number 1 and 2. UNT Black has just been able to shut most of those down, not allow really any of those to get towards the net. Saw just a little bit earlier from Calculated calculated with the infield pass, and Parky was able to put an instant stop to it the second it even got to me. So they've been doing a lot better at keeping those infield passes from turning into shots and scoring opportunities, and also those defensive demos, just not allowing them to pass the ball to each other to begin with. Definitely keeping this UNT defense going strong here in game number 3.
Yeah. You need to be careful, though, as the timer ticks down. Cannot become more conservative, cannot clam up, as that is when you're giving A&M this space to really execute on those infield passing plays. That is when they capitalize the most. Right now, we're seeing another instance of that, though. This time it will be Mies taking it solo. Maybe some miscommunication, almost a ground double-tap own goal from Iceborg, but UNT Black surviving. Gotta keep the comms up here. If you're the Mean Green, cannot afford to let this one slip.
Right, low boost as well for every single member there. Calculated, double touch off the backboard, no good, but Eddie is there for the follow-up. That lengthening out on the defense from UNT finally comes to bite them, and they leave the net wide open for the A&M to score their second goal and tie this game up with a minute left.
And Calculated, true to his name, with a great read down the ceiling ramp. So we'll still be on this A&M defense to prevent UNT Black from getting anything going, though. To be fair, the Mean Green have not really gotten on offense that much ever since they scored their second goal. They will have to change that at some point if they do want to win this game, and they absolutely need to.
That's right. A&M doing a lot better job after that second goal, realizing that they need to get the ball out of their own half if they want to score, so they've been doing a lot better job at that, at getting that ball down the field a lot faster to not allow that offensive pressure to build up from the UNT squad. And this midfield has been gone a little bit more in favor of Texas A&M as this match has gone on. Those passes are starting to connect just a little bit more, and now pass center from Calculated, just a little bit too much mustard on that for Eddie. And the pass back to Eddie. Oh no! What a pass from Calculated to Eddie. Or I'm sorry, that was Mies to Eddie.
Oh, okay.
Perfectly caught him in his flip. And that will be an own goal to give UNT the lead. I was expecting to see an overtime here, but Eddie clearly did not want that to happen, as this ball will hit the ground and UNT Black will get their first win of the series.
Well, I don't think that is how anyone expected game number 3 to end, but I am sure UNT Black will take it and run with that win and hopefully use it to carry some momentum into game 4. A&M didn't seem too phased by the mistake, but at the very least, UNT Black, they will not be swept out in the round of 16. They're going to look to follow up on this solid performance with another one in game 4, though. Again, it still concerns me. They only put on 3 shots on target. I don't know how often you can expect to convert at that rate.
The amount of shots to put themselves at better chances of getting those goals definitely is a little bit of a concern, but for that game it worked. We'll see if it is able to work in this future game and these upcoming games, but I mean, you can't count on that to work perfectly for you every single time. Maybe once or twice, but definitely got to get a little bit more shots if you want to have a chance at scoring a lot more goals.
Yeah, and well, I'm going to see if they do that here. It did get a lot more conservative after they scored 2. They cannot let that happen in the early goings of game 4, and right now they are getting full of powerful hits here. They are still having to deal with the A&M counterattack, though, with that infield passing that has been so potent in this series. just it feels like it's only a matter of time before something breaks and you need to have a goal lead to really counteract that.
Sure. The amount of calculated putting a shot right on target, right past the UNT defense, and just gonna say the amount of times that this Texas A&M offense can just find a pass from one another, just like on a dime almost, is just insane. Like they could be all the way down on the other end of the field, and then they'll find a pass right up onto that offensive third, and then be basically scoring in your net as they did right there. 4 minutes left to play, so plenty of game time, and UNT are opening up the field a lot here as well. So just trying to keep Texas A&M off of the ball as much as possible. But Eddie does not want that to happen. Storms in there, gets the ball past him, and Parkey playing front post on that defense is not going to be able to get the save this time around. 2 goals for Texas A&M.
Yeah, and the defensive cut by Iceborg, you just couldn't make contact with the ball, and that was what really did it. With the precision passing that A&M has, one mistake and doom you. It's a good ceiling pinch from him. Oh, that's a big double commit from UNT Black. Doesn't look like it's going to come back to bite them, but it will prevent them. Actually, no, it won't prevent them from getting some offense going. As the 50 is won by Iceborg. Now him diving through. It's going to be central. Nobody there. Mies clears now. It's over to Eddie. And things are starting to settle down a little bit. Another defensive bump for the Mean Green here. And there is some space for them to work with, but they seem just a little too eager to get the ball downfield, and it results in a lot of these chances being wasted away, even with the misplays that are occasionally occurring on the A&M back line.
Yeah, like you said, they are taking those like defensive bumps and demos, opening up the backfield a little bit to have a little bit of possession, but then most of the time they just end up throwing the ball down the field and it's back into A&M possession. So they need to be able to find maybe some of those passes of their own to that offensive half, maybe even offensive third. Good pass from Calculated to Mies, but he takes it just a little too high. It'll bounce off the crossbar. Now him trying to get it out. A little pogo off the ground there, but he'll stay in the midfield for Mies now, trying to get it off of that corner to his teammate, but Iceborg will put a stop to it in the meantime.
Yeah, and still A&M with the majority of the pressure and all of the threatening chances. Have not seen one from UNT Black that's really looked close to being on target. And they might even concede again here as Mies 1v1 with him saving, but it falls right out to Eddie. Parkey saving as well, back just in time. There's a big counter chance here, but the 50 taken poorly. And again, these double commits, UNT Black, the communication's starting to fall apart, as even with some good 50 wins, they're just unable to get anything going, and all of their progress seems to be erased in just an instant every single time they get on offense, and Mies will find one in the back of the net for A&M as they have restored their control over this series.
That's right, nobody getting up for that ball off of the backboard. Him just sitting on the ground line and wait, and Mies just dusts him to the ball and puts that one through again, and now that A&M offense is getting roaring once again. UNT did a good job of stopping it last game, but they just turned the key in the ignition once again and started it right back up. And this UNT, they cannot let up for a single second on that defense if they want to stop this A&M offense at all. Eddie once again proving why that's the case. Another pass over from Calculated. Great little bit of ball control there. Gets it right past Parkey to Eddie, and that's another 4th goal for A&M.
I think that's his 10th in the series, so Eddie's still shooting hot. But A&M now, you can see they're playing with a lot of confidence, and a lot of mechanical miscues for UNT Black are costing them on defense. And otherwise, the rotation has been fairly solid. This rotation cannot do anything about that, though. Eddie, a 3rd hat trick for him, as that will be A&M's 5th off of the infield pass from Mies. And the shot tucked under Parkey. I mean, what can you do at this point? Just seems like A&M is scoring at will. And nothing UNT Black has done has been able to stop that.
It's almost as if they like won last game, and then they like took their foot off of the gas of everything that they started doing well. Like they were taking away those infield pass opportunities away from A&M last game, and then this game they're just letting them fly left and right, and it just hasn't all been there for UNT. You hate to see it, but I mean, you can't let up if you're UNT. You gotta keep strong on this A&M team. They're not one of those lesser teams that you can have a couple mistakes here and there. They will clamp down, and they've been showing just that. 5 goals in game number 4, 45 seconds still left to play. So, I mean, heck, they could double it if they really wanted to, but
that would be a little much.
Probably a little bit, but either way, this A&M offense, they came out the gate swinging this game after being held to just 2 goals last game.
And they're just maintaining all the control right now in the in the UNT defensive third. Sorry. I mean, even with low boost, even when this game is pretty much, I mean, it is all but over, they're still keeping pressure on and preventing UNT from getting anything of note going. It will be the Texas A&M Aggies getting to match point first, and triple match point is that. They will take game 4 by a scoreline of 5-0.
That's right. Match point. And as you said, it'll be triple match point. That's definitely really dangerous if you're UNT Black. You have to win 3 in a row if you want to win. You have to win out from here on out. And against this Texas A&M team that we're seeing right now, I couldn't imagine anybody getting 3 in a row against this team.
Yeah, not in their current form. As when Eddie isn't own goaling, A&M is undefeated in this series. So keep that in mind. As we're ready to go now for game number 5, the first of 3 potential closeout opportunities for A&M, as they look to bring this one to a quick conclusion and rest up for their quarterfinal match against either Colorado or Buds at GSU. Oh, it looks like my Discord crashed. Oh boy. Well, for a moment, Sleeper will not be with us, but no rest for the wicked calculated. A goal after just 14 seconds. And A&M, you can see them just the foot firmly. There you go. Oh, we're back, I think. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. OBS and Discord died at the same exact time, so we were gone for a little bit. You didn't miss anything of note, though. You can just see here calculated putting in a second for A&M, and they are still rolling against UNT Black. Sorry for the little bit of technical malfunction delay. I don't know, but we are ready to vamos either way.
That's right. Just an unlucky 1-2 combo there. First I drop out, and then everything drops out. But I mean, hey, that's not going to stop these players from playing. They still got a job to do. They still got game to play. Iceboard trying to get a shot down through, but Eddie, good save there.
Oh,
other streams is Buffalo's swept the Buds at GSU, so that match is all done. So whoever wins this series will end up facing the Colorado Buffaloes. First, we got to get to the end of it. Still half the game left to play. UNT with a little bit of offensive pressure, trying to build that up, trying to get something going here. They need to score some goals. They have been held scoreless since the beginning of last game, since the game that they won. For almost 8 minutes now, they've been held scoreless. They do not want that to continue.
Well, it looks like that drought will end, so good caster curse. Learning well. UNT Black, him finding one just quick enough to, or even maybe a bit of a change up for calculated. Couldn't read the shot. They had the whole net to cover anyways, but some signs of life here for UNT Black. They aren't exactly sunk in this series. They still need 1 goal in the next 2 minutes, but already looking better than they were last game.
Yeah, you saw Eddie was the one in the goal there trying to cover that. He had to cover the chance from Parkey hitting that ball. He couldn't cover all the opportunities, but is it okay? Because Meese gets it back for Texas A&M and makes it a 2-goal lead once again.
Yeah, and it's just like, looks like Eddie was causing a lot of chaos there. I believe a chain bump with Iceborg and him, and that Parkey was last back, and he just could not cover the angle himself. So all the progress that UNT made with their goal race to nothing. As another shot attempt saved away by Meese. Now he's going to look to follow this one up. Shot on target, saved by Parky. Iceborg, he can only hope to try to clear this one from his own half, but it's still very rough right now from UNT Black. Their clears are only resulting in more possession and more pressure for Texas A&M.
Right, and the demo there from Eddie opens it up to be even more possession for A&M. I mean, him was looking to get something going on offense and come down with that ball off the corner, but Eddie did not want that to happen at all. Basically just playing keep away at this point, it seems like. I mean, they got a minute, they got the 2-goal lead, they've got the series point. They have the time to play keep away if they want. And, well, that's one way to play keep away, is putting it into your opponent's net, and Eddie will come away and make it a 3-goal lead now for Texas A&M.
Yeah, and this really has been Eddie's series. He is, I mean, A&M, I don't want to say he's put them on their back, because Calculated and Meese have both played very well, but Eddie has scored by far the majority of all goals in this series. I think he's up to, what, 11 or 12 at this point, so he has been unbelievable for A&M, and he will be certainly a player to watch out for when, assuming they hold on here, when they go up against Colorado next round, which is about 2 hours from now.
For sure. You definitely do not want to miss that game. That will be a very good game. I mean, Colorado playing a little bit better than they were yesterday. They ended up sweeping today after going to game 7 yesterday. But, I mean, it's a team story with this Texas A&M crew. Yeah, Eddie's been getting, like, almost all of the goals, but it's been Calculated and Meese that have been putting him in those opportunities. All of those passes from one to another. I mean, it has just been a huge team effort from A&M here, and they've been able to come up the better of this series as they are leading 4-1. It will now be 5-1, 6 seconds left, and just as we were talking about that, Eddie will get an infield pass to Meese of his own. Another goal for A&M.
Just the field presence and awareness out of the Aggies is so impressive. It looks like they have the complete pitch in the palms of their hands. And a interesting kickoff there to end us out here. A&M will be taking this one 4-1 over UNT Black. They will advance to the quarterfinals. The Cinderella story for the Mean Green, unfortunately, will be ending here.
That's right. Just gotta wait for the ball to hit the ground at this point. Iceborg trying to come away with one at the end here with the follow-up. It's going to be off the post, and that will finally be the end of this series. Final scoreline being 5-1, series of 4-1.